We'll just give one more minute for people to file in. Started. Hello and welcome to the 2025 Annual General Meeting of the Canadian Association of Occupational Therapists. My name is Lisa Diamond-Burchuk and I am the president of CAOT. Bonjour et bienvenue à l'Assemblée générale annuelle 2025 de l'Association canadienne des ergothérapeutes. Je m'appelle Lisa Diamond-Burchuk, présidente de l'ACA. I'd like to get the event underway with a few housekeeping notes. Auto-generated closed captioning is available through your Zoom taskbar. If you prefer to communicate in French, please change your settings in the captions menu to French. If you have any questions or concerns about the closed captioning or translation services, please put a note in the chat box and our team can offer assistance. We will be monitoring the chat box. The AGM is also being recorded and will be available later this week. I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. We do this to remind ourselves of our colonial history and to acknowledge the land where each of us engages in our daily lives, as well as the Indigenous peoples and ancestors who are and have been the caretakers of this land for millennia. Land acknowledgements are an important first step towards honoring the original occupants here, and I encourage you to reflect and develop your own land acknowledgement statement if you have not already done so. It's an important step to build understanding in our history. I also acknowledge that a singular land acknowledgement does not capture the full breadth of individuals who are attending this meeting today in this virtual platform. So I will be providing two land acknowledgements, one for CAOT and one for myself. While I'm giving the acknowledgement, I invite you to reflect on your own acknowledgement to where you are situated, should you wish. As the CAOT staff are primarily based in Ottawa, CAOT acknowledges the traditional, unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. The Algonquin peoples have lived on and taken care of this land for thousands of years. CAOT further acknowledges the historical and current oppression of lands, cultures, and the original peoples in what we now know as Canada, and strongly believes that the practice of occupational therapy can and will contribute to the healing and decolonizing journey that we all share together. We are grateful to have the opportunity to be present in this territory. For me personally, I want to acknowledge that I am an uninvited guest on Treaty 1 territory, which is the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Ininu, Anishinaabe, Dakota Ayote, and Dene-Sulene, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. I would like to take this moment to express our sorrow and our admiration for the family of Morgan Harris, who have fought valiantly along with the family of Mercedes Myron to find their mothers and the body of Buffalo Woman. This past week has been such a turmoil of emotions as they finally are able to bring their mother home. And it's heartbreaking that they had to fight so hard and for so long for this basic dignity. Literally eating and sleeping outdoors in the freezing weather for months to pressure the Manitoba government to do the only decent thing and search the landfill for these women. In the words of Elle Harris, Morgan's daughter, we need to do better. And we need to look to these families and reflect on if they could achieve this with all the barriers they faced, what can we do in our roles to do better? Let's just take a short pause so that everyone can reflect on their own acknowledgement and relationship to the land and be grateful for the diverse Indigenous of this land for centuries. I also want to thank each of you for taking the time to join us today. We know that life and schedules are busier than ever, and we're grateful that you chose to make time to participate. I now have the pleasure of introducing CAOT's new CEO, Irving Gould. He joined us in October following the departure of our former CEO, who we miss, Hélène Sabourin, who retired after an impressive 41-year career in the healthcare sector and nearly 6 years at the helm of CAOT. Irving is a bilingual senior executive born and raised in Quebec who has more than 25 years of experience with national healthcare associations and nonprofits. Before joining CAOT, Irving served as the CEO of the Canadian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists since 2019, following leadership roles at Resident Doctors Canada, the Canadian Resident Matching Service, and the Association of Faculties of Medicine of Canada. As we approach our 100th anniversary in 2026, I am confident that Irving's expertise will help shape the future of the association and continue to strengthen occupational therapy in Canada.
Bonjour à tous et merci Lisa pour vos aimables paroles. J'apprécie énormément que vous preniez le temps de vous joindre à nous pour cette rencontre annuelle. I want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. I know that your time is very valuable. And looking at our registration list, I'm pleased to see members from across the country coming together for this important discussion. Your presence and participation are what make these meetings valuable. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our retired members joining us today. Your continued involvement demonstrates what we've always known. Once an OT, always an OT. You truly embody the OTs for Life spirit, and your ongoing commitment to both the profession and CAOT continues to strengthen everything that we do. Before we begin discussing the highlights from last year, I wanted to say how deeply honored I am to have been appointed as CAOT's CEO. Over the course of my career, I've represented many groups working in healthcare. And it's with complete sincerity that I say that this role is the one that I'm the most proud of. It's both humbling and thrilling to have the chance to support OTs and OTAs from coast to coast to coast and help guide the profession's, National Association while working alongside our exceptionally dedicated and passionate staff. I'm energized by the opportunities that lie before CAOT and the occupational therapy community. OTs and OTAs are essential contributors to Canada's health and social systems through clinical work, education, and culture, equity, and justice initiatives. OTs and OTAs are influencing the development of a more inclusive, healthier society, and I'm grateful for everything that you do. I say it all the time, your work literally transforms lives.
Absolutely. Thank you. I can't thank you, Irving, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough, both as professionals and as individuals. It's such a pleasure to be here celebrating occupational therapy across Canada and reflecting on all the amazing ways that our profession has moved forward over the last year. And thank you, Irving, and the entire CAOT team for continuing to connect all of us, and in doing so, creating positive action that strengthens the voice and impact of the OT community. Now to the business of the day. This is a meeting for our members to review the association's performance from October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. Today, we are focusing on good governance, and we have several important decisions along with some changes to our bylaws. The President and CEO's report will highlight the association's activities over the past year, along with the first 5 months of this fiscal year. We will also celebrate the contributions of some of our exceptional colleagues as we will announce the 2025 CAOT Award recipients. As well, we will have time at the end of the meeting for members to ask questions and offer feedback on CAOT priorities and operations. CAOT has already received several questions by members in advance of the AGM, and we will start with those. Our bylaws require that we have 50 members to attain quorum. Given we do not have in-person hosted sites, we may have a mix of members who have logged in from their personal computers or devices, and we may have some that are sharing a workspace computer. So what we need is an accurate count of everyone on the call. Oh, you're muted, Irving. It has to be one of those in every meeting.
Right, absolutely. I don't have a cat here with me, though. Selon nos statuts, 50 membres doivent être présents pour atteindre le quorum. Plusieurs membres se sont déjà inscrits et se sont connectés à partir de leur poste de travail personnel. Ce dont nous avons besoin maintenant, c'est un décompte précis de nos membres. Nous avons déjà noté votre présence et, encore une fois, merci d'avoir pris le temps de participer à notre Assemblée générale annuelle.
So if you're participating individually, we've already captured your attendance. If, however, you are participating at a site where there is more than one member, We'd like you to provide the final number of members in attendance. So in the chat box, can one person please type your name, just the one name, and then the total number of members that are with you today, including yourself. So while we verify the count, Megan is doing that for us, I'd like to recognize our current board of directors. They work super hard as volunteers on behalf of all members to ensure CAOT makes progress on our mission, which is to advance excellence in occupational therapy in Canada. Nathalie Veillette, Vice Chair. Karen Jowdry, Treasurer. Sarah Burt-Hocko, Secretary. Paulette Guittard, Director to WFOT. Deborah Beach-Ducharme, External Director. Holly Smith, Interim Indigenous Director. Caitlin Dewhurst, Territories. Donna Drinnan, British Columbia Director. Susan Mulholland, Alberta Director. Jesse Judd, Saskatchewan Director. Brenda Semenko, Manitoba Director. Karen Ribeiro-Gruel, Ontario Director. Marc Rouleau, Interim Quebec Director. Debbie Le Breton, New Brunswick Director. Mary Beth Fleming, Nova Scotia Director. Yvonne Thompson, Prince Edward Island Director. And Danielle Hogan, I think I said it wrong, Newfoundland and Labrador Director. We also have several staff members on the call participating here in the national office or from their home offices. Irving Gold, our CEO, whom you've already heard from today. Mike Reed, Director of Finance and Operations. José Seguin, Director of Knowledge Translation Programs. Allison Douglas, Director of Standards. Justine Jecker, Director of Professional Practice. Kristen Harold, Director of Communications and Marketing. Taylor Roussel, Occupational Therapist and Professional Development Coordinator. Summer J. Dayel, Professional Development Administrator and our moderator for today. And Megan Stewart, Executive Assistant. And hello to our many CAOT staff members who are joining us as well from their virtual offices across the country. Megan, can you confirm that we have reached quorum?
Yes, we've reached quorum. We should be at 67 members.
Thank you. And can you tell us what we need for the 51 and 67%, the numbers?
34 for 51% and 44 for 67%.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan. Okay, now we can get underway then. So all of the AGM documents are posted in both official languages on the CAOT webpage, and you can view them by clicking on the Documents tab in CAOT's Learning Management System. That's the same place where you access the link for this meeting. Today's meeting will be conducted primarily in English, however, with voting procedures and motions scripted in both languages. During the question period, we will be able to address questions from members in French and English.
Tous les documents de l'Assemblée générale annuelle ont été affichés dans les deux langues officielles sur la page web de l'ACE et vous pouvez les visionner en sélectionnant l'onglet « Documents » dans le nouveau système de gestion de l'apprentissage de l'ACE. C'est au même endroit où vous avez accédé au lien pour cette réunion. La rencontre aujourd'hui se déroulera principalement en anglais. Toutefois, la procédure de vote et les motions seront inscrits dans les deux langues. Pendant la période de questions, je pourrai répondre aux questions de nos membres en français et en anglais.
Thank you. I'd now like to explain the voting procedures for today's meeting. You'll note the chat box on the screen, and we will use this for you to communicate with us. So please note also, though, that only CAOT members can vote. All others, including associates, have observer status. When I call for a mover and a seconder, please type the word move and your name, although unless if you did sign in with your full name, then you don't need to do that. I will do my best to recognize the first member who does so as the mover and the second member as the seconder. Once a motion has a mover and a seconder, I will call for questions and comments. If you have a question, please type your first and last name and your question or comment into the chat box. Again, if you haven't signed in with your name. The mover has the right to have their comment addressed first, then the seconder, and then any further comments will be addressed in the order received. As chair, I have the discretion regarding the length of the discussion, and I will do my best to ensure the discussion is focused on the motion being voted on. When I call the vote, if you're in favor of the motion, do nothing. If you choose to oppose or abstain the motion, please indicate your vote by typing the word oppose or abstain in the chat box. If you're joining from a site with more than one member present, please type in the total number of eligible voting members that are opposed or have abstained. To be clear, if I do not see any text messages in the chat box to oppose or abstain, I will assume the voting member or members are in favor of the motion. If you abstain or oppose a motion and would like your name recorded in the minutes, please include the word record in the chat, along with your abstain or oppose vote and your full name. This year, we are voting on ordinary resolutions, as well as one special resolution with regards to the bylaws. In accordance with CAOT bylaws, an ordinary resolution will pass with a majority vote of 50% plus one, which Megan gave us, and a special resolution means a resolution passed by a majority of not less than 2/3. Now, Irving will repeat these instructions for our French-speaking members.
J'aimerais vous expliquer certaines directives relatives aux procédures de vote. Vous verrez l'icône chat sur votre écran. Nous vous servirons de cette fonction pour communiquer. Veuillez prendre note que seuls les membres de l'ACE peuvent voter. Tous les autres participants ont un statut d'observateur. Lorsque la présidente demandera qu'une personne propose une motion et qu'un autre l'appuie, veuillez inscrire le mot « propose » dans la fenêtre de conversation et votre nom, sauf si vous êtes déjà inscrit avec votre nom complet, et la présidente reconnaîtra le premier membre qui le fera comme celui qui propose la motion et le deuxième membre comme celui qui appuie la motion. Une fois que la motion aura été proposée et secondée, la présidente demandera si les membres ont des commentaires ou des questions. La personne ayant proposé la motion a le droit que l'on réponde à sa question ou commentaire en premier, suivi de la personne ayant secondé la motion, et ainsi de suite, jusqu'à ce que l'on ait répondu à toutes les questions et tous les commentaires dans l'ordre où ils ont été reçus. Notre présidente a un pouvoir discrétionnaire quant à la durée de la discussion. Lorsqu'elle demande le vote, les personnes en faveur de la motion n'ont pas à inscrire leur vote. Donc, si vous êtes en faveur de la motion, ne faites rien. Nous demandons seulement aux personnes qui s'opposent à la motion ou qui s'abstiennent d'inscrire le mot « s'oppose » ou « abstention ». Si d'autres personnes qui sont avec vous dans la pièce s'opposent ou s'abstiennent, veuillez inscrire le nombre total de s'oppose ou abstention. Donc, pour être bien clair, si nous ne voyons pas les mots « s'oppose » ou « abstention » apparaître dans la fenêtre de conversation pour indiquer que le membre s'oppose ou s'abstienne, nous assumerons que le membre votant est en faveur de la motion. Si un ou plusieurs membres s'abstiennent de voter et veulent qu'on inscrive leur nom dans le procès-verbal, s'il vous plaît, veuillez alors inscrire votre nom complet dans la fenêtre de conversation. Cette année, nous voterons sur des résolutions spéciales, de même qu'une résolution spéciale en ce qui a trait au règlement administratif de l'ACE. En vertu de nos statuts, cela signifie qu'une résolution ne sera adoptée que si la motion obtient 50% des votes plus 1. Pour la résolution spéciale, cela signifie qu'une résolution ne sera adoptée que si la motion obtient 2/3 des votes.
Okay, so we'll get started. And our first motion is that the agenda be approved. May I have a mover and a seconder for a motion that the agenda be approved? We have Karen Ribeiro Gruel moved and Yvonne second. Sorry, I think that, let me know moderators if you need me to say the last name, Yvonne Thompson. Okay, any questions regarding this motion? Okay, I will call the vote. All in favor, do nothing. Opposed, type oppose. Abstentions, type abstain. Okay, the motion is carried. The next motion is that the minutes from the 2024 AGM be approved. May I have a mover and a seconder for the motion? I have Juliette Cooper as a mover and oh, sorry, it just loads slowly. Brenda Semenko as our seconder. Any questions or comments with regards to the motion? Okay, I will call the vote. All in favor, do nothing. Opposed, type oppose. Abstentions, type abstain. The motion carried. I hope you had a chance to review our final report from our last fiscal year. It's on the website in the About CAOT section, and it's posted with the AGM materials on the LMS. I'd like to call the motion to receive the published annual report for the year ending September 30th, 2024. Given we are already in March, I'm going to take the next few minutes to provide you with a few highlights from the annual report and the first half of this membership year from October 2024 till now. May I have a mover and a seconder for the motion that the President and CEO's report be received? I have Christine Fleming moves and Paulette Guitard seconds. So we have a mover and a seconder. Are there any questions about the annual report? Okay, let's call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried. At CAOT, we are committed to meeting the diverse needs of OTs and OTAs across Canada by supporting continuous growth and development through a wide range of resources that empower our members to excel in their professional endeavors. We understand the importance of staying informed and updated on the latest advancements in our field. One of CAOT's proudest moments last year was seeing the association take meaningful strides forward following the release of the Occupational Therapy Statement of Commitment to Indigenous Peoples in Canada on National Truth and Reconciliation Day 2023. Together with the other occupational therapy organizations in Canada on Turtle Island, we have pledged to transform our colonial reality and to make changes with each organization's respective mandates. This commitment to action and transformation acknowledges the harmful colonizing narratives, policies, and practices in our healthcare system, including the occupational therapy profession. A pivotal step in our commitment to meaningful reconciliation was the creation of a dedicated Indigenous board director position at last year's AGM. This structural governance change ensures Indigenous perspective and leadership are permanently woven into CAOT's strategic decision-making going forward. We are thrilled that Holly Smith has joined the board as the first person to hold this position. The board is also working on several other priorities to fulfill our commitments, including the establishment of an Indigenous Wisdom Council in the coming year that will add diverse perspectives to ensure a broader representation of Indigenous worldviews and to guide our reconciliation journey. Another milestone achievement was the completion of the new joint position statement toward equity and justice, enacting an intersectional approach to social accountability in occupational therapy. Thanks to the tireless dedication and collaboration of OTs from diverse practice settings and perspectives, this important document addresses systemic oppressions affecting health, social, and economic systems. Our national advocacy team has been busy amplifying your voice and pushing forward issues that matter to OTs and OTAs. We were thrilled to see that our advocacy efforts were particularly impacted over the past year with the launch of a successful Ask for OT petition that highlighted the crucial need for improved access to occupational therapy services through extended health benefits. The petition far exceeded our expectations. It received 7,500 signatures by the end of OT month, as well as over 100,000 views and more than 3,000 shares. We're so grateful for your support. Your signature and voice have been vital to creating momentum to support the change we need. Every action counts as we continue our advocacy efforts with government, insurance companies, insurance brokers, large employers, and unions. If you're interested in getting involved, contact our team at advocacy@caot.ca. OTs and CAOT representatives also gathered on Parliament Hill for a lobby day last April with elected officials and policy advisors to promote the benefits of occupational therapy on mental health. The team asked the MPs and policy advisors to commit to making changes that allow OTs to provide mental function assessments for individuals applying for the disability tax credit. When we learned that OTs had been excluded from the expansion of the Canada Student Loan Forgiveness Program, our advocacy team quickly responded. At a time when the healthcare needs of those living across Canada are increasing, we met with MPs, senators, and government committees to emphasize that the federal government must do more to encourage the recruitment and retention of the health workforce, including OTs, in rural and remote areas. Several OTs also spoke up, including CAOT BC member AGA Anholt, who wrote a letter to the Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, and Official Languages and advocated to NDP MP Taylor Bachrach for inclusion of the profession. As a result, MP Bachrach raised the issue in question period, and a media article was published outlining the role of occupational therapy within rural and remote communities. We recently launched a new campaign to mobilize students to advocate on this issue across Canada and demand recognition and inclusion for our profession. Videos by our two students, Olivia and Jade, who are currently on placement at CAOT, have already had more than 48,000 views. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Addressing non-insured health benefits and Jordan's Principle have also been a main priority to ensure First Nations children receive the services they need. Last year, we held a virtual forum about Jordan's Principle and had a meeting with their policy team members. Last month, our advocacy team met with representatives from the Assemblée of First Nations to discuss and collaborate on their resolution on expanding non-insured health benefits coverage to include allied health services. Through the initiative, AFN is seeking a mandate to advocate for the NHB program to expand its coverage to include additional health services, including occupational therapy. CAOT will continue to collaborate with Indigenous peoples and organizations in Canada and to support AFN's advocacy efforts at a federal level to demonstrate a united front to promote expanded healthcare access for all. CAOT chapters have been very busy as the regional collective voices of occupational therapists in the representative and respective provinces and territories. Starting with BC. This past November, we welcomed Kathy Elisa aboard as our new CAOT BC Regional Director. She has been working as an OT in BC since 2000 in both public and private practice. Kathy has contributed her time and expertise to CAOT in countless ways over the years, including serving on conference committees, professional development events, and she was the secretary on the CAOT BC Advisory Committee for the past 2 years. Welcome, Kathy. CAOT BC has tackled numerous significant issues that have emerged over the past year. Last January, the Ministry of Health proposed amendments to the definition of occupational therapy in the Health Professions Act, which saw CAOT BC members and non-members alike mobilized to create a grassroots movement. They came together to provide important recommendations to the provincial government that fully embody the full scope of occupational therapy practice. In addition, the 7 different regulated health professions in BC were amalgamated under one new College of Health and Care Professionals of BC, and the newly expanded University of British Columbia Masters of Occupational Therapy program welcomed its first cohorts at 2 new sites in the Fraser Valley and Prince George. The chapter has been collaborating with the CAOT BC Private Practice Network to compile and send feedback to the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia and WorkSafe BC around critical issues such as referral procedures, billing rates, and fees for OTs and OTAs. CAOT North held online forums for members from all 3 of the territories in January and attended meetings to advocate for the regulation of occupational therapy in the Yukon. CAOT North is also hosting a networking event at this year's conference in Edmonton for occupational therapy professionals practicing or interested in practicing in the territories and other rural and remote northern communities across the country. This will be an opportunity to connect with and learn from those facing similar challenges and opportunities. CAOT Quebec started 2 new community of practices over the past year. The first one is for Quebec OTs working with Indigenous communities, and the second one is for OTs in primary care. The groups provide a forum for sharing expertise, experiences, and building community. CAOT staff, including Soella Bandelay, the regional director of CAOT Quebec, and Irving, as our new CEO, attended the 13th annual OEQ colloque in Montreal in November. We were pleased to connect with the OEQ president and staff at the event to explore new ways of collaborating to better serve the Quebec occupational therapy community. We also presented on the use of inclusive language and connected with attendees at our booth. As well, CAOT Quebec published a joint press release in response to an article in the press about a new master's program for physician assistants being launched in the province. They are collaborating with our physiotherapy and private practice OT partners to share our thoughts on the impact this new program could have on the occupational therapy and physiotherapy workforce in Quebec. I'm really excited to announce that Soella is taking on a new joint role with CAOT. Her duties with the chapter will be combined so that she will be serving as the Directrice Régionale ACA Québec et Conseillère Nationale des Services Francophones, Regional Director, CAOT Quebec, and National Francophone Services Advisor, which is a crucial role that will connect our organization with Francophone OTs, OTAs, students, and communities nationwide. With the new occupational therapy program at the University of Saskatchewan in development for a fall 2026 start date, CAOT Saskatchewan has been sharing information about the program details, creation of the curriculum, and recruitment for faculty members. CAOT Saskatchewan Regional Director Christine Fleming has also been working closely with the Clinical Education in Rehabilitation Sciences Department to create a video about occupational therapy in Saskatchewan to build awareness of the profession and promote the new program. In addition, CAOT Saskatchewan had a presence at 3 different high school career fairs in Saskatoon and Regina. Students from around the province came to learn about a variety of post-secondary opportunities, including careers as OTs and OTAs. The events were well attended by students, parents, and guidance counselors, and it was a great opportunity to showcase our profession. There was also a Conversations That Matter online forum held last month to connect and share ideas about how organizations and/or employers are addressing the Accessible Saskatchewan Act. The implementation of this act provides an exciting opportunity to highlight the important roles occupational therapy professionals have in accessibility and participation. I'd now like to pass things over to Irving.
Thanks, Lisa. First, I'm pleased to let you know that our membership numbers grew again last year. We ended 2024 with a total of 11,389 members from all around the country. Thank you to all our members for being part of our strong OT community. We also launched a new Canadian OT grad guide that will help our student and new practitioner members understand how to make the transition from study to practice with ease. As part of our practice resources, we were thrilled that the Find an OT Mentor program successfully engaged 832 participants last year. Another new initiative is the addition of Find an OT Leader. This new search engine allows OTs to self-identify as leaders in their area of practice and identify their fee rate based on their work experience and expertise. I'm also excited to announce that one of the largest professional practice projects CAOT has embarked on is nearing completion, thanks to the hard work of our team who have collaborated with almost 400 Canadian OTs and OTAs with diverse knowledge and experience in each area of practice. It's an amazing amount of engagement. We thank you all for that. The CAOT Occupational Therapy Practice Documents are a collection of 55 evidence-based resources to support OTs and OTAs in sharing information about their roles and responsibilities with clients, employers, healthcare professionals, and other interested parties. 37 practice documents have been published, and another 18 are in development, ranging from cancer care and leadership to hand care, ergonomics, and neurodiversity. Now in its third year, CAOT's podcast continues to grow and expand its audience. Last year, it saw a 99% growth in new listeners from more than 50 countries, and its listeners aged 18 to 24 grew by 152%. There are now 54 episodes available of Conversations That Matter, the podcast, that feature discussions, including new French episodes about primary care and promoting OT. It's available on Spotify and CAOT's website if you have not yet seen it. The latest issue of OT Now, our practice magazine, is out now, and it features a wide range of articles, including a cover story about Rima Troop, an OT who needed to rethink rehabilitation after her dad's heart attack. We're very excited that this issue of OT Now and all issues going forward are open access. Now you can easily share these must-read articles with colleagues, students, or anyone who's interested, and there are no more paywalls standing in the way of spreading great ideas and practical knowledge about occupational therapy. Following CJOT's 90th anniversary last year, the editorial team completed a vision planning exercise by gathering perspectives from researchers, reviewers, and authors. CJOT editor Brenda Verkland published an editorial that outlined the team's 3 priorities: improvement to the journal structure, the author experience, and the brand.
Last year, our professional development team offered 80 professional development activities with 3,620 participants. We've also added several self-paced online courses so OTs and OTAs can expand their clinical expertise while maintaining a flexible schedule. As part of our knowledge translation partnerships, a team led by Catherine Donnelly and Nicole Bobette collaborated with CAOT to launch a suite of free online learning modules and resources to enhance the capacity of occupational therapy learners and practitioners to practice in collaborative primary care teams. Thanks to leadership from Andrew Freeman and Nadine Larivière in Quebec, we also moved the Economic Evidence Clearinghouse project forward with the launch of an open access resource to help demonstrate the value of occupational therapy services in today's competitive healthcare landscape. Available in English and French, the search engine features economic evidence research from the past 25 years, as well as introductory webinars, recent scientific papers, and professional resources. As part of our commitment to steward and safeguard the profession, CAOT oversees the accreditation of Canadian occupational therapy education and administers the National Occupational Therapy Certification Exam. Last year, CAOT's Board of Directors, the Certification Examination Committee, and the Exam Oversight Committee approved that the new NOTCHI exam will start in September 2026. The current version of the exam will continue to take place until then, with candidates choosing from online or in-person options. Work continues to incorporate the new competencies for occupational therapists in Canada into the NOTCHI, including new item generation, publishing the proposed blueprint on the NOTCHI website, and recoding the item bank. An accreditation task force made up of members from CAOT, ACATRO, and ACATUP continued to work with a project consultant to implement changes to university accreditation oversight. I hope you enjoyed the special activities that we offer for OT Month each October. Last year, we continued our annual campaign to light up the country to raise awareness about occupational therapy. More than 58 landmarks across Canada shone blue on World OT Day to highlight the contributions our profession has made in Canada for more than 100 years. We also celebrated OTA Appreciation Day on October 12th to raise awareness about the great work OTAs do and the value they add every day. I am pleased to announce that CAOT will be holding its 2025 conference in Meskwetsi-Waukegan, Edmonton, from May 7th to 9th. Along with more than 200 presentations, this year's special events will include Anthony Johnson and Dr. James McCokeys, the amazing two-spirit couple, as the featured speakers at the opening ceremonies. We'll also have a plenary panel with Sukena Dada, a pediatric OT and the founder and executive director of Smile Canada Support Services. And I know we're all looking forward to this year's Muriel Driver Memorial Lecture given by Aliki Thomas. Registration is open and the full conference program is available on CAOT's website. We hope to see you there in May. And as we mentioned earlier, we have a truly momentous milestone in our history coming soon. CAOT's 100th anniversary in 2026. We're planning some incredible events, special publications, and meaningful opportunities to mark this historic occasion. I invite each of you to think about how you might want to participate in this celebration of our profession's journey. Whether you have stories to share, artifacts to showcase, or ideas for how we should commemorate this achievement, we want you involved. Our amazing volunteer committee has created a quick survey where you can share historical OT milestones, stories from your career, and images. Look for it in this week's issue of OT Weekly. This now concludes our midterm update as part of the President and CEO's report. We will have time for questions at the end of the meeting. May I have a mover and a seconder for the motion that the Treasurer's report be received? Paulette Guitard moves, and Suzanne Landavoy seconds. Sorry, okay. I will now invite Karen Jowdry, CAOT's Treasurer and Chair of the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee, to present the Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Jowdry. CAOT's accounts have been independently examined by the auditing firm Andrews & Company. I'm pleased to report that Andrews & Company outlined in the letter of findings regarding the audit that there were no significant risks identified, no matters arising, and they did not identify any control deficiencies. The detailed information is available in CAOT's audited financial statements for the year ended September 30th, 2024, as well as the summary that's published in the CAOT annual report. The financial statements have also been posted on CAOT's website. Overall, CAOT is in a stable financial position. Cash and investments for the year were 6.8 million compared to 6.7 in the previous year. The slight increase of 39,000 over the previous year is due to higher returns on our investments. CAOT revenues in 2024 were $5.73 million compared to $5.78 million in 2023. This slight decrease in revenue was due to lower sales and publications, as well as professional development. Looking at expenses, the expenses for 2024 were $5.94 million compared to $5.46 million in 2023. Expenses for 2024 were $478,000 higher than 2023. And this was due to an increase in expenses for item generation for accreditation and exam, and increased expenses and travel for the board and CEO. Salary and benefits expenses were higher than the previous year because this was primarily due to a COLA increase and hiring new staff. Conference expenses were higher for travel and accommodation. The excess of revenue over expenditures from operations for 2024 was less 207,000 compared to 319,000 for 2023. The unrealized gain in investments for 2024 was $227,000, and the unrealized gain in investments for 2023 was $64,000, which resulted in the excess of revenue over expenditures for 2024 of 19,914 and 384,000 in 2023. A portion of this year's excess revenue is allocated to the internally restricted net assets, which is outlined in the notes to the financial statements. CAOT increased its positive financial position at the end of 2023 to 2024 with an excess of revenue over expenses and a positive gain in net assets. In summary, CAOT is well positioned financially for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Are there any questions on CAOT's financial statements? I see Juliet has a question. She writes, are we concerned about our investment revenue given the current volatile economic environment? Thank you for your question, Juliet. I think this is something that we've certainly spoken with our financial advisor and investments advisor. Maybe Mike, do you have any comments on that? I think it's something that everyone's concerned about, and it's certainly on our radar. If you have anything to add, Mike?
I don't have too much to add other than the FAR committee has met with Ivan from TD, and we are going to be looking at our policy on how we invest our money, what kinds of returns do we want to achieve over the next year. And even though the markets have been a bit volatile over the last month, our investments haven't really dipped in a major way. So yeah, it's more to come on this, and it is in good hands with our FAR committee.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any other questions at this time?
Okay. Seeing no questions, thank you, Karen. A reminder to everyone that we do have a motion on the floor that the treasurer's report be received. So I'll call the vote for that. All those in favor, remain silent, and opposed and abstentions, type in the chat. Okay, the motion is carried. Now to our next motion. Karen, would you like to move that the auditor's report for 2023-2024 be approved? Okay, and we have Mark Rouleau as our seconder. Karen, do you have any further comments from what you addressed in the treasurer's report regarding the auditor's report?
I don't have any further comments, but I would like to briefly take the opportunity to sincerely thank Mike Reed, CAOT's Director of Finance and Operations, and his team for their dedicated support and excellent work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, any questions or comments regarding the current motion? Okay, thank you, Karen. So I'll now call the vote. All those in favor, opposed, abstentions. The motion is carried. May I have a mover and a seconder for the motion that the Board of Directors be authorized to establish the remuneration for the auditors for the year 2024-2025? I have Paulette Guittard move and sorry, it's hard to see, and Margaret Thompson seconded. Any questions regarding the current motion? Okay, I'll call the vote. Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder to appoint Andrews and Company as auditors for the fiscal year of 2024-2025? Move Margaret Thompson, seconded Mark Rouleau. Any questions regarding the motion? Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor, do nothing. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. Thank you very much, Karen, for all your work and all your hard work pulling this all together and all year long. Okay, now I would like to invite Sarah Bird-Hocko again, but to call up Sarah Bird-Hocko as Secretary and Chair of the Governance Committee to report on the election results.
Thanks, Lisa. In keeping with CAOT's bylaws, members are asked each year to put forward the names of worthy colleagues to fill vacant board positions. The CAOT board is comprised of directors from each province and one from the territories, a WFOT director, an external director, Indigenous director, a treasurer, secretary, vice chair, and president. A call for nominations is extended in early October with a December 1st deadline. A constituent election is held if there is more than one eligible candidate. This year, we held an election for the Ontario director position, and the others were filled by acclamation. Successful candidates are put forward in a motion to elect at the annual general meeting. Today, we are electing positions for the territories, British Columbia, Alberta, New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Quebec, Indigenous director, and treasurer. I'll pass things back to Lisa to take you through the motions to elect new directors to the board.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. We have several motions to move through to elect the successful candidates, and I appreciate your patience on what may seem a bit repetitive. Because this confirms the electoral process and we want time for discussion later, I'm going to try to go quickly. So feel free to say slow down though. And please note that the order of the nominations on the agenda is a little different than what's on the slides. Okay, first may I have a mover and seconder that Susan Mulholland be reappointed as Alberta Board Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. Moved by Karen Jowdry, seconded by Jessie Judd. I will call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. Congratulations. Glad to have you back, Susan. May I have a mover and seconder that Sarabjit Sarkun be appointed British Columbia Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. Jeff Boniface is the mover and Karen Ribeiro-Gruel as seconder. I will call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried. Holly Smith. May I have a mover and seconder that Holly Smith be appointed Indigenous Board Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. We have Archie Juliet Cooper moves and Yvonne Thompson seconds. I will call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Debbie Le Breton be reappointed as New Brunswick Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. We have moved by Mark Rouleau, seconded by Danielle Hogan. I will call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Danielle Hogan be reappointed as Newfoundland and Labrador Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. A mover Karen Jowdry, seconder Sarah Bird-Hocko. I will call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Kimberly Hewitt McVicker be appointed as Ontario Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. Mover Karen Ribeiro-Gruel, seconded Mark Rouleau. We'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Nadine Lariviere be appointed as Quebec Director beginning October 1st, 2025 on a 3-year term of office. Moved by Andrew Freeman, seconded by Kim Hewlett-McVicker. I will call the vote. All those in favor, opposed, abstentions, the motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Jana McLaughlin be appointed as Territories Board Director beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 3-year term of office. Moved by Christine Fleming and seconded by Danielle Hogan. I will call the vote. All those in favor, opposed, abstentions, the motion is carried. May I have a mover and seconder that Karen Jowdery be reappointed as Treasurer beginning October 1st, 2025 for a 2-year term of office. Moved by Brenda Semenko, seconded by Jesse Judd. I will call the vote. All those in favor, opposed, abstentions, the motion is carried. Whew, did it.
Thank you, Lisa, for helping us through that series of motions. I am very proud to present your Board of Directors for 2025-2026. I want to say that this organization has an absolutely remarkable board, and I want to thank them for being so unbelievably supportive in my onboarding and freely sharing their wisdom and guidance. It's been an incredibly humbling experience, and I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you all. I want to take a moment then to thank those who are leaving the board. This includes acknowledging the dedication of Donna Drynan, Karen Rivera-Grurol, Caitlin Dewhurst, and Marc Rouleau. Thank you for your commitment to CAOT. I will miss seeing you around the board table. And following the call for nominations, we are also welcoming Holly Smith as the Indigenous Board Director, along with Sarabjit Charkoon from BC, Kimberly Hewitt-McVicker for Ontario, Edine Larivière for Quebec, and Jana McLaughlin for the Territories as new directors. And congratulations to Susan Mulholland, Debbie LeBreton, and Danielle Hogan, who have been re-elected as directors, and Karen Jowdery, who has been re-elected as treasurer. I look forward to continuing working with you all as well.
Thanks, Irving. We will now hear from Nathalie Veillette, Vice Chair of the Board and Chair of the Awards Committee.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, thank you, Lisa. I've noticed that there was Amy Lee whose hand was raised. I don't know if it was a question or maybe before I start the marathon of the award recipients announcement. Oh, okay, it was an accident. Very good. Better safe than sorry. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the members of the awards committee. Those people have been dedicated to making sometimes tough decisions. So I'm pleased to join you today with the happy task of announcing this year's award recipients. However, I would also like to apologize in advance to anyone whose name I may mispronounce in the next few minutes. I know the feeling, and I'm already sorry about that. So the call for nominations for CAOT Awards, including the Golden Quill Award, is now open year-round and has a December 1st deadline. The awards committee evaluates submissions and submits recommendations for approval by the board in February. We are pleased to announce the award winners during the AGM today. All the awards recipients will be honored at the awards ceremony at the CAOT conference in Edmonton this May. So the 2025 recipients are the following. So first, Jennifer Diamond is the recipient of the award for leadership in occupational therapy. Jennifer Diamond has demonstrated exceptional leadership in occupational therapy through her expertise in concussion rehabilitation education and clinical practice. clinical education, and scholarly activity. Jenny's innovative approach to concussion rehabilitation has transformed client cares in the field thanks to her development of a novel occupational therapy program that has served thousands of clients across Ontario. Beyond occupational therapy services, Jenny has also helped advance the public good by volunteering to provide education and evidence-based resources at concussion support groups, including the creation of an accessible public knowledge resources through her Instagram account. While still in the early years of her career, Jenny's outstanding leadership skills have already made a lasting impact on the profession, and she continues to make significant contributions to the occupational therapy community. Bernadette Nedelec is the recipient of the Fellowship Award. Bernadette is being recognized for her achievements in bringing research and practice to advanced occupational therapy. Over the past 4 decades, she has been acknowledged for her research dedicated to burn survivor rehabilitation and the broader field of musculoskeletal rehabilitation, while also advancing burn rehabilitation practice in Canada, in the US, and internationally. Bernadette is well respected as a mentor to her academic colleagues for providing important workplace guidance, along with invaluable care and support in her mentees' personal lives. Bernadette is a tireless champion of the occupational therapy profession, a dedicated educator and mentor, an innovative and accomplished researcher, and a leader in the translation of burn research into clinical guidelines and best practices. Heather Cutcliffe and Margaret Thompson will be receiving life memberships. Heather has made outstanding contributions throughout her entire career to the occupational therapy profession in PEI and on a national level. Heather has dedicated endless time and energy to a variety of roles, including the PEI Occupational Therapy Society, ACOTRO, and many volunteer roles with CAOT. She also co-chaired 2 successful OT Atlantic conferences and served as co-convener to the CAOT conferences held in PEI in 2004 and 2017. Through her leadership, program development, and volunteerism, Heather's influence has left a lasting impact, especially on the many people she supported and those she inspired to pursue a career as an OT or OTA. This award celebrates Heather's exceptional and unwavering dedication to advancing occupational therapy, both in PEI and nationwide. Margaret has been a strong advocate for our profession and extensively involved at both a national and provincial level throughout her 50+ years as both a practicing and retired OT. Margaret was the first Saskatchewan OT to serve on the CAOT Board of Directors and served as CAOT President in the early 80s. She was also presented with the prestigious Muriel Driver Lectureship Award in 1989. Margaret's enthusiasm for the profession and willingness to work on projects and issues from the 70s until today has been incredible. As someone who cares passionately about the development of our profession and the education of Saskatchewan occupational therapists, she has been a strong mentor to many who have advocated successfully for the province's homegrown program, which will finally become a reality next year. Her outstanding contributions and dedication to the profession of occupational therapy make her a worthy recipient of this honor. Stéphanie Gamache and Diana Starr are the recipients of the Award for Innovative Practice. Stephanie is a passionate advocate of accessibility and universal design through her many roles with and outside of the occupational therapy community. She has demonstrated her commitment to innovative practice by representing the profession, working on accessible pedestrian facilities for the Ministère des Transports du Québec, and collaborating with contractors, designers, and users to promote her holistic vision of the environment that goes beyond current standards. As an ally and leader, Stephanie also uses her expertise in the accessibility of different environments to work in partnership with people in community organizations while promoting inclusion, identifying strategies, finding solutions, and defending the rights of people with disabilities. Diana's innovative practices, ideas, influence, and generosity combine to make her a groundbreaking leader who is helping occupational therapy grow to effectively meet the needs of Indigenous communities. She is a member of Little Pine First Nation in Treaty 6 territory and the owner of a community-centered practice that focuses on pediatric services. As an OT who serves First Nation communities in Saskatchewan, she has developed and implemented a model of practice and guiding beliefs that are by and for Indigenous people and communities and prioritizes their needs and knowledge. In addition, Diana has created an academic scholarship for Little Pine members to attend post-secondary education, and she is sought after for her expertise in reconciliation as she promotes change and decolonization within and outside the occupational therapy community. Ooh. Next up is the Awards of Merit. We have 3 winners this year. First, Carol McDonald has made a lasting impact on the profession over her 32-year career. Her forward-thinking leadership, tireless dedication to patient empowerment, and innovative use of technology in care delivery are acknowledged for their impacts on healthcare. Starting in spinal cord rehabilitation and progressing into leadership roles in entrepreneurial ventures, Carol has created groundbreaking systems that empower both patients and care partners, including the development of a platform driven by artificial intelligence in her current role as co-founder and president of CAOT Care. This platform has taken patient-centered care to a new heights by matching patients with care partners based on their needs, monitoring real-time biometric indicators, and responding quickly to emerging health changes. Whether she's working directly with patients, advocating for OTs at a policy level, or creating advanced solutions, Carol has consistently raised the bar for what it means to be an OT. Donna McLeod has changed the lives of countless individuals who experience social isolation, homelessness, addiction, poverty, and loss of identity in her work with military veterans for more than 20 years. She made her dream of meeting the growing needs for service delivery come true last year when she opened the first occupational therapy clinical space for veterans in PEI. Among their services, Donna has successfully developed a program framework that incorporates the family unit into a veteran's circle of care and combined her passion for pottery with occupational therapy practice to create an improved sense of health and wellness among her clients. Thanks to Donna's tenacity and her incredible work ethic, she has refined the possibilities for the scope of practice for OTs in PEI and created a lasting legacy. Dr. Marina Mamoliti is an accomplished psychiatrist with diverse clinical and leadership experience who currently serves as a locum psychiatrist at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. She has made significant contribution to ongoing education about occupational therapy through her many activities, including publications, speaking opportunities, co-authoring a book, and co-leading CAOT's professional development workshops, there are many, that address occupational therapy interventions for adult ADHD. These efforts have improved access, increased referrals, and shown how OTs can assist with mental health, return to work, and other practice areas. Dr. Mamoliti has been using her position as a psychiatrist to promote occupational therapy and influence physicians, clients, organizations, other healthcare professionals, insurers, and other parties. At a time when our profession needs to assert our value and market what we can do, having allies like Dr. Mamoliti is essential. Now, the Golden Quill Award is given to a group of people including Marianne McCall, Céline Boyer-Denis, Caitlin Douglas, Justin Gilmer, Nicole Haveman, Megan Peterson, Brittany Presswell, and Marilla. They are our Golden Quill Award recipient for their CJOT article entitled a clinically significant difference on the COPM, a review, which was published in 2023. The committee agreed that this article is outstanding in terms of its level of scholarship and that the authors make an important and significant contribution to the literature. By continually questioning and reassessing long-standing assumptions, the article models the importance of continuous critical reflection in advancing the profession and encourages more nuanced perspectives that contributes to its growth and relevance in contemporary practice. Next up are the CAOT Chapter Outstanding OT of the Year Award recipients. First, Jeff Boniface is the recipient of the CAOT BC Outstanding OT of the Year Award. Jeff's remarkable contributions to the occupational therapy profession, community health, and education have had a lasting impact in British Columbia, across Canada, and globally. Jeff's extensive career as the owner and frontline clinician of a community-based private practice in Greater Vancouver has spent more than 29 years, and he has also held roles as an educator at UBC and Capilano universities. He has made significant contributions to occupational therapy education and mentorship, and his leadership as a volunteer and collaborator is also noteworthy. Jeff has had consistent engagement in various professional networks and volunteer organizations, including international humanitarian initiatives. And he's a co-founder of the OT Climate Action Network. Through his work, Jeff has exemplified the values of occupational therapy in action: compassionate care, lifelong learning, cultural humility, and a deep commitment to social justice. Kathy McNeil is the recipient of the CAOT North Outstanding OT of the Year Award. Kathy is an extraordinary leader who has made a significant impact, not just to occupational therapy, but rehabilitation services and healthcare in 2 of Canada's territory, as well as nationally through her time serving on CAOT's board of directors. As Nunavut's territorial rehabilitation coordinator, she championed equitable access to rehab services, secured additional team funding, and established a pilot project in the CAOT. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I didn't say it right. Region to demonstrate the need for resident rehabilitation services beyond fly-in visiting therapists. She also brought big picture thinking and hands-on when she built a strong home care program in the Yukon and to her senior role with Hudson Department of Health. As Kathy's career has developed from a hands-on clinician to a policy leader, she has shown how strong leadership and practical problem-solving can improve healthcare for people across Canada's Northern Territory. Finally, Annie Rochette est la récipiendaire du prix de l'ergothérapeute de l'année pour l'ACE Québec. Annie Rochette is the recipient of the CAOT Québec Outstanding OT of the Year Award. Annie embodies academic and professional excellence as a dedicated professor and occupational therapist in Quebec. She has also influenced the educational orientations of several occupational therapy programs in Canada. Her inspiring collaborative leadership and remarkable erudition have led to numerous innovative projects aimed at improving practices in both occupational therapy education and rehabilitation. Annie has had an outstanding career in research with more than 50 articles published just in the last 5 years, and her projects have received over $5 million in funding. As a professor in the occupational therapy program at Université de Montréal since 2004, she has played an important role in the changes made over the years to ensure that teaching and pedagogical approaches are adapted to all students. Annie's distinguished career exemplifies excellence in research and teaching, advancing occupational therapy through her remarkable contribution. The awards committee recommend the CAOT 2025 Citation Award to be granted to the following people, organization, and so on. So for CAOT BC, the prize goes to BC Association of Child Development and Intervention. For Saskatchewan OT, Caitlin Lauriston, of Boyle Street Community Services. CAOT Saskatchewan, the recipient is Charles Alfert for OADBT, Architecture and Interior Design. For the MSOT, Community Engaged Learning. For CAOT Québec, Dr. Alain Vadeboncoeur. For NBAOT, prizes are allowed to Cindy Carlson and David Cormier, Addiction and Mental Health Services. Health Services Team for the Mobility and Adaptive Equipment Loan Program with Mary Bartlett, Mitchell Ricker, Angela Mullins, and Carrie Brewer. The citation awards continue for PEIOT to Courtney Cameron, East Region Coordinator with the Making Change program provided through the Neil Squire Society. For Newfoundland and Labrador OT, Schizophrenia Society Newfoundland Discovery Center, in particular the Waterford campus. And for CAOT North, Peer Good at Geet Resource Center is the recipient. Now, the Fieldwork Educator Award recipients are for University of British Columbia, Mary Lau; for University of Alberta, Shobha George; for University of Manitoba, Kara Kozar; for McMaster University, Patricia Medeiros and Maria Guerra; for University of Toronto, Meredith McClinigan; for Queen's University, Kathleen Bridge; for University of Ottawa, Sofia Lobrenovich; for McGill University, Yukin Sao, Mary; for the University of Montreal, Elise Mathieu-Jacques; for University Laval, Maude Bergeron-Denis; for l'Université du Québec à Trois-Rivières, Dusika Gilas; and for Dalhousie University, Mike Rogers. And last, but certainly not least, I'm pleased to announce that we do have a recipient for the Muriel Driver Memorial Lecture, but we'll all have to wait until the awards ceremony at the CAOT conference in Edmonton on May 8th. And I hope you will join us then. So that concludes the presentation of all our award recipients. I would like to congratulate all of them. And again, I'm sorry for the names I mispronounced, but they're the winners anyway. So thank you.
Merci, Nathalie. That was beautiful. I think you did an amazing job. So congratulations to Nathalie, and also congratulations to all the amazing award winners. Very deserving individuals and groups. And thank you to the awards committee. Okay, we're going to move along pretty quickly because we want to get the bylaws done. So next up is a motion that the CAOT bylaws V.6 be approved. May I have a mover and a seconder for the motion? Sue Street moves. Sometimes these things, there we go. And Yvonne Thompson is the seconder. Over the past year, the board has conducted a governance review, which resulted in 3 changes to the bylaws. That the title of president will be changed to chair. There will no longer be a WFOT board position following the end of our current director's term, and the external director role will be renamed to director at large. Are there any questions regarding the motion that CAOT bylaws V.6 be approved? I'll pause for a minute for people to type. Okay, I'm seeing no questions. I will call the vote. All those in favor, do nothing. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, wait, I'm seeing a question now. Hold on, I see a question from Andrew. It takes a while. So I think I need to read Andrew's question aloud because I don't think other people can see it. So Article 7.03, composition of the board. For items B and C, the implications of the wording one or more is not quite clear for me. What's the maximum? I'm asking this question with respect to the overall number of members on the board. And what measures will be in place to ensure ongoing good two-way coordination with the WFOT, given the fact that the WFOT director will no longer be a member of the board? And then Margaret Thompson also asked this question: why is the WFOT director being removed? So I'm going to hand it over to Irving because we can answer that question, and Irving's going to be the one to best do that for us today.
I actually think this one.
Oh, Sarah. I think it's Sarah, right? We are going to call on our secretary as chair of the governance committee. I apologize. So
No problem.
Go for it.
Yeah, so around the decision to remove the WFOT board director position, we made that after consideration of how to best align our governance structure with financial sustainability and common practice among other national associations. So many countries have their president serve as the voting delegate at WFOT Congress, and we saw this as an opportunity to adopt the approach without affecting our participation or influence at WFOT. COT remains committed to its relationship with WFOT, and at present, our president and CEO will continue to represent Canada at the Congress and ensure ongoing engagement. Just to clarify, Paulette Guittard will finish her term as WFOT delegate until 2027 and will continue to sit on the board. After that time, the president and CEO will continue to represent Canada at the World Congress and ensure ongoing engagement. This will streamline our governance, allowing us to reduce costs associated with sending an additional delegate, and is a part of an effort of our board to ensure that COT's governance remains effective and financially responsible. So that's the question. Oh, okay, perfect. I see Margaret's comment there. So there will still be a link between CAOT and WFOT, absolutely. And currently our president still goes to WFOT Congress as well. So it's just removing that one extra person who'll be attending.
And then there's the second question. Thank you, Sarah. The second question that Andy asked for items B and C. I don't have it open in front of me. Does someone from COT have it open that can speak to that? The implications of the wording one or more is not quite clear for me. What's the maximum? And he's asking with regard to the overall number of members on the board.
I don't have it open in front of me either. Unfortunately, I didn't open the bylaws today to have them in front of me, and I should have. So I apologize, Andy. Oh, sorry, Irvin.
You want me to just, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no wording around a maximum, and it does say from time to time the board can decide to add or remove positions.
Well, let's see what Andy's typing here. So Andy's typing, if you can open my audio, I can explain. So I think that would be Summer. I'll see if I can do it, but it's probably Summer. I have to find you on the screen, Andy.
Let me take a look and see.
There you go. You can talk, I think,
Yep.
Andy.
Yeah, hi. I'll be very quick. It's just the overall context of managing the number of people. So it's just the wording just seems a bit odd. The one or more sounds like there's potentially no upper limit, which seems contradictory to the spirit of the changes. That's really all. I'm not arguing about the nature of the roles. It's just the numbers that you're talking about. Thanks.
That makes sense. Okay, so Sarah, do you feel that? Go ahead. You're going to look like you're going to speak.
No, you go ahead.
Just do you feel that we can vote on this motion as is, or do you, because it would probably take a bit of work to decide the rewording?
I think we can go ahead and vote on the motion as is. I agree, Andy, in the spirit of the changes to the bylaws. It was not the intent that there be additional board positions at this point. We have the ability to do so. We don't have any plans to do that. And so I would say I think we can go ahead and vote as is. Philip did make a comment as well about the final number on the board being capped. He's not seeing it now, so.
I might be looking at it.
And Andy is saying he's okay with that, and we can certainly look at if we do feel we need to do something afterwards to make sure that's really clear. We can certainly look at that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I may have missed
Andy, we can always count on you for good questions and to Andy, so thank you. And thank you, Sarah, for answering the important question about WFOT. Yes, that is we are committed to that relationship 100%. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, then I will call the vote. All those in favor do nothing. Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion is carried. Okay, and we have, thank you very much. We have no new business. We are seeing obviously that we are out of time to answer questions. We did have, I believe it's 5 questions, but one of them I think was about the WFOT position. So maybe we're down to 4. What we will do is we will share those questions and responses. I think Irving will look at getting that to everyone who attended so that everyone can see those. We also want to make sure that we do have dedicated time for member questions. In addition to this, of course, you can email us at any time. So if there were questions you were wanting to ask today and didn't get to, please send them to us by email, and we commit that we will send you it. We will respond. In addition to that, though, we are having our virtual town hall in September. And so again, we will be doing a call out for questions, and we will commit a significant amount of time at that town hall for member questions. Irving? Did you want to say anything? No? Okay.
I'm just I just thank you for doing such a great job chairing, and thanks to all of the amazing staff inputs. It's a tremendous group of very dedicated people, and these things don't happen without a lot of work. So I thank all of them.
Yes, thank you very much to the CAOT staff and to everyone who's joined and to all the volunteers. So I want to say thank you to everyone. The next annual general meeting will take place on March 16th, 2026 to review CAOT's performance during the 2024-2025 membership. And we hope we'll see that you'll join us then. Okay, so as all business on the approved agenda has been concluded, the meeting is now adjourned. Please don't hesitate to let us know how CAOT can support your practice in the weeks and months ahead. Stay well and enjoy the rest of your day. Merci. Thank you.